guys, it's Ryan here. I'm at the Umhlanga Pier, and this is the lighthouse behind me. I'm sure everyone's familiar with Umhlanga. I decided to come out this morning because I had a really rough day yesterday and I needed to get some air and some sun and some bliss. I mean, look at the sunrise, it's amazing. I'm so glad I could be out here. And I want to shoot a tutorial today, show you exactly how to take a photograph that I'm going to take right now. So I'm going to take you through the steps of taking a great photo and editing it on your phone, because I, smarty pants that I am, brought this camera and I didn't bring any memory cards, so I can't take photos of this beautiful sunrise we've got going on here. It's actually getting quite close to the sun bursting through those clouds, so I'm gonna have to do this tutorial quite quickly. So let's get started, guys. We'll talk a little later. I'm gonna get wet. I've already been wet, but this is where I want to be, right here. I'm gonna go down to these rocks and I'm going to photograph this fisherman right there. And I'm gonna go to, let's go to HDR. I'm using my Huawei Mate 20 Pro to compose for the sky, so I'm touching the sky. Notice I'm using the rule of thirds. I've got him exactly where the lines meet, and I've got the horizon on the bottom thirds. So take the photo. Let's come in a little lower, get more sky and get more water as well. So I'm angling up, I'm sitting on the rock and take the photo. The water's come in, I'm proper wet, but I think I got some shots. Actually, let's get a little lower. Look at that. You have to hold it really still when you're taking HDR photos. I think I've got something there. Let's go through these images. We want movement in the water, and that's what's gonna create a great image. Look at that one. Is it? Yeah, let's work with one of these. We're gonna work with that. Okay, so let's edit this image. I'm gonna take this straight through to Snapseed. Let's do that. Okay, first thing I'm gonna do is add a filter on it. Let's add the accentuate filter. Yes, looking good. Let's see if that filter will work twice though. Ooh, yeah, that could work. That could work. Okay, so let's add that filter twice. It's a little over saturated though. Let's not add that filter twice. Okay, let's add that filter twice. So that's what it's all about. You've got to take chances, take risks, and see what you can come up with. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is tune this image. Brightness, let's turn that brightness up. Yes, just a little. That brightness is looking good. Let's see what we can do with contrast. Nope, it's already pretty high in contrast. Let's look at ambience. Let's balance out the oh yes, okay, there we go. Ambience lifts shadows as well. Yes. Ambience almost all the way up. Now it's looking great. Lovely. I really like that. Okay, and shadows. Do we need to bring up the shadows? I do want to bring up the shadows, but not everywhere. So let's leave the shadows where it is for now and go to the selective tool here. And I want to bring up the shadows in this area. So let's bring up the brightness there. So look, we've got some contrast, some shadows. Let's add another one here. Let's bring up, in this case, let's bring up the saturation and the structure. Okay, because I want this area here to be more saturated and more structured. Okay, let's add another one here. I want to bring up a little brightness there and a little more saturation. Okay, so it's tinkering. That's what we're doing. And that's how you do it. You've got to tinker and you end up with a great image. A great image just doesn't happen. You've got to work at it. So all these little changes I'm making, you're unable to see them. You see a little at a time. But when I show you the before and after, it'll blow your mind. And that's how we do it. Maybe I'll turn down the saturation a little more. Let's go to tune again, saturation. Turn it, oh, just a tad bit lower. A little oversaturated. Now it's looking better. You don't want an oversaturated photo. It looks too HDR and too fake. But this is something that I'm happy to do. I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, so let's look at the before and after. Before. Yes, look at that. Even though I used an HDR technique, it gives you a lot of information to work with, but it creates a bland photo, and it's up to you to go and edit it to turn it into that. It's a beautiful sunrise, and that's actually almost what we are looking at, but the camera can't pick it up because your naked eye is so much better than a phone camera or any camera for that matter. Look at that, it's such a big difference. So I'm gonna click done. So what you really want to do is watch tutorials, as many as you can, and practice. Look at, I just went and sat down there, got a quick image, edited it on my phone, took it with my phone because I forgot my memory card for my big camera, and ended up with a great image. It was a win-win-win. In fact, I took two more images of the fishermen that I'll show you right now, and they came out completely different actually. So let's look at those images. These are the images that I took before I even filmed this tutorial. Look at that one. Hey, that's exactly the same spot that I was sitting. Look at this one, exactly the same spot. I just tilted the camera angle and filmed it differently. Completely different images sitting in the same spot because I shot them at different times and I angle the camera differently. So I know what I'm doing. You want to follow the rule of thirds, you want to compose for that, and when you're good at it, then you can start breaking the rules. But it's a good baseline to start working on. So come out in the morning, photograph as much as you can. Actually photograph sunrise, sunset. You want golden hours. So photograph as much as you can, edit as much as you can, practice, and you'll get better and better and better. And it's such a rewarding thing to do because I'm out here in the fresh air, sea, sunrise, friends walking past going, hey Ryan, people I haven't seen in years, waving at me with their babies and strollers. It's amazing. It's an amazing morning considering the day I had yesterday, being pulled over by the police officers and being searched, and was just a disgusting feeling. It was a terrible experience. I wouldn't want anyone to go through that. It was so disenfranchising, made me feel powerless as a person. I felt disgusted and powerless that I couldn't protect the people with me and myself. I just had to whimper and buckle under the pressure of these police. And because of it, I wasn't able to sleep last night. I hadn't slept at all actually. I lay in bed till 5 this morning and I said, nope, I've got to change this somehow. How do I reset? And I came to the beach, I brought my camera, I brought my phone, I ended up shooting on my phone, and I'm doing this tutorial now, and I'm in a completely different headspace than I was yesterday because I'm out here getting some, I think it's negative ions or something, yeah, from the air. I'm out here in the sand, my feet's wet, it's lovely. So it's the most rewarding hobby in the world. I don't think there's anything better than this. Traveling and photography, my two favorite things to do. So I hope this has been inspiring. Come out, photograph with me, call me, set up shoots with me. We've got a group called Sun Chasers on WhatsApp. So we plan our shoots. Sometimes someone wants to go out in the morning, they want some company, or they want to go in the evening, or want to do a trip. Put that information on the WhatsApp Sunstoppers group, and we try and support each other, and we try and go out there and photograph things together. There's no reason you can't go with someone because you're not going to get the same composition. Even if the person's sitting next to you. Look at me, I went and sat at the exact same spot on the rock, and I got 3 different images at different times, 15 minutes apart. So even if you're going out with people, no one's stealing images from each other because we're all composing them completely differently, editing them completely differently. So it's a really great community out there, and be a part of it, join it, come out with us, start taking photos. Take your phone out. I'm using my Huawei Mate 20 Pro. It's a 3-year-old phone. I was winning awards with my Samsung S7. That was a 6-7-year-old phone. It went to Getaway magazine, a photo that I took on that phone next to a photo taken with a 200,000 Rand camera. So you can still use your phone and get amazing photos. I'm proving it every day, and there are thousands of people that are out there taking way better photos and proving that every day. So be a part of our community. Catch you in the next tutorial.